are stable personality characteristics that have been developed over time. You can get that determination by you asking the right questions, or the other alternative is that you can use assessment testing, which will reject 25% of the people and allow you to gives you the green light. So you're, in essence, interviewing the remaining part. Otherwise, you'd be interviewing 100% basically of all your candidate pools. So what is it that you're looking for? If you go into your manual, we'll look at the selection test that's included. For those of you that already use it, you'll be all familiar with what we're talking about. We found with top producers, regardless if they're loan officers or account reps, is that social is defined as being likes to help people. That's social. It doesn't mean we're out there party animals. Okay? A lot of times that's what people think, because actually what we saw with many of the top producers, I would almost describe them not necessarily as shy people, but they will describe themselves that way. So if you look for outgoingness, extrovertness, there's a lot of sales tests that say that's the issue. That is really not correct. What we're saying is the top producers, by definition, social is the key characteristic, the number one characteristic, because these are individuals that like to help people. It's no different than FICO scoring. It's that type of calculation. This is an objective measurement of basically correlating volumes and correlating basically raw numbers. I mean, that's what's going on behind it. But the fact is, as you as a manager, certainly there's going to be instances where you'll fall into the 30% chance, but that doesn't mean that you remove part of the hiring process, which is where the assessment testing comes in. But this, at the end, is only telling you the raw talent. You still need to interview them. We still need to delve into more so we don't run across these issues that you're talking about. And that's what we're going to do later after we basically do our questions. The profile reflects essentially the grid, what we call the grid. You'll see on the left-hand side a list of personality characteristics. It starts with energetic all the way down to positive about people. And then what you'll see is that basically there's the grid where there's an upside-down triangle, and the facts are is that that's where the candidate has fit. So what we're telling you is that the characteristics on the left-hand side are some of the things, obviously, you've already identified. In a way, I don't think this is rocket science. I mean, in a way. The analytics behind it are highly sophisticated because we're correlating the factors, and there's a weighted average calculation. Some characteristics are more important than others. When you're looking at an individual, when you're interviewing them, you're placing a lot of value in high energy. That's what you said. In fact of life is what really does matter. What do you think? Well, when you look at the grid, the characteristics that matter are the length of the bar, basically the bar graphs. So what we're saying is the longest bar graph is social.
Pat, thank you for coming in today. You have used several of Pat Sherlock's programs, starting with our first book, Reaching the Top of Your Game. You've also attended conferences, you've used her newsletters, and you have attended some of her conference calls. Why don't you talk a little bit about which of those you felt most effective and useful for you?
All right, well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, Joan. First of all, I've found in working with Pat over the years that she is one of the most knowledgeable individuals when it comes to mortgage banking and the sales process. And more importantly, she has the ability to communicate it in layman's terms so that people like myself can understand and put it into practice.
And lastly, today you're attending her Top Sales Producers Conference. What has your experience been so far? I'm
really excited. This is really some good material, and I can't help but wonder. I've been in the mortgage business since 1979, and I can't help but think it would have been nice to have this information 5, 6, 8 years ago.